Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Living with Cancer. I'm Stephanie, and I just wanted to get you guys started on the journey of how I found out I had cancer and what was going on in the months and years previous to, because I had symptoms and signs for about a year and a half or two before finding out. Because I don't know if many of you know, but colon cancer does not usually show up any signs and symptoms until it's in its advanced stages. So, early colon cancer you typically cannot find unless you're older, over 50, and you're having regular colonoscopies. The only way you can catch colon cancer very early is if you have regular colonoscopies. So, they're very important. They get in your head where you think, oh my gosh, they're gonna shove a camera up my butt, and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But please don't go there. Please don't go there. It is very important that you do this. I wasn't hung up on it. I was just like, okay, let's get this done. Let's see what's going on here. Let's get this fixed. You know, with my family history of cancer, I knew I was going to get cancer. I knew it. I just knew it. I mean, you just can't. You can't not know it if you have a huge family history of cancer. So, but I was hoping, I was praying so hard that I would be one to be spared. But unfortunately, I was not. So, I try to laugh and smile as much as I can. I do cry a lot, but it's okay. It's okay. Um, so, when this first started, we lived out in the country. I was happy, had the life I wanted, doing the homesteading thing. I wanted to get a garden going, had animals. We had pigs, a horse, chickens. We had the thing. We were getting started. Wanted to get the garden going, but I just didn't have the energy. I just didn't have everything I needed to have to go all the time. So I'd go out and feed the animals. My granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, would help me come out, and she would help me feed the chickens and feed the pigs, and she would play with the pigs, and she would sit in the chicken area with the chickens, and she was just a big fan of the animals. She still is. But it got to a point where I was having diarrhea all the time, no matter what. It didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter what was going on. It didn't matter. I had diarrhea all the time. I was nauseous all the time. If I caught a cold, I was sick for a long time. We're talking weeks and weeks. The typical virus, like I had gotten the flu. And actually, no, that was after chemo. Scratch that back up. I had gotten I guess a common cold or something, or bronchitis, or whatever they wanted to call it. And I was sick for weeks, like 6 weeks, I think, 6 to 7, 8 weeks, something like that. My mother-in-law was like, let's go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital, and they tell me, it's just a virus. Nothing we can do. It's got to run its course. And I'm like, well, how long? Because this has been going on for weeks now. Well, usually 7 to 10 days. Okay, this is weeks now. How much longer do you think? Well, they gave me all this medicine, and I took it. Wasn't getting better. Finally, I was better. It was just awful. And so I just went on, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm not a doctor goer. I usually typically do not go to the doctor if I don't have to. Um, I'm sorry if I keep looking off to every different places, because there's a whole lot of distractions going on. But I had a lot of diarrhea. I had a lot of stomach cramping. I had a lot of fatigue. A lot of everything. Diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, fatigue. Um, couldn't eat. It got to a point where I was barely eating anything. Anything to drink other than water. It would just come right back out. Either way, both ways, it would just come right back out. And they say it takes 50 hours from the time that you eat to the time that it comes back out. And I'm like, that does not happen with me. That does not happen with me. I eat sometimes 10 minutes later it's gone. Or a couple hours later, it's gone. It's done. There's like nothing left in my system. My system just pushes it right through. And this is why I'm so skinny. My weight went from right at the very first of cancer, I was 155 pounds. I'm now 124.6, I think. 124. We'll just call it that. The points really make a difference. The points really make a difference with me now because I've lost so much weight and it's hard for me to put it back on. So, the points matter. The points matter. Just a few weeks ago, I was 112.4 pounds. So, you know, the points count. And if I can get it in and keep it in and gain some weight from it, I'm good. But if I sneeze, I lose 5 pounds, and it takes me 3 weeks to gain 2 of those pounds back. So, I'm very skinny. It's hard for me to gain weight. I eat. It's hard. I'm trying to eat a healthier lifestyle. That's hard when you're on a very bad high. I don't eat bad stuff. Sometimes I occasionally eat McDonald's. I don't like to, but I do when I'm out and about and I just don't want to cook. Since I've gotten cancer, there's times I don't want to cook. And I love to cook. I love to bake. I love to do everything. I mean, if you're on my personal Facebook, you know I am a baker. I'm a baker. I'm a cooker. I love the kitchen. That's my favorite part of the place. And I'm in my kitchen right now. So, yeah, that's the way it is. So, we went on in July of 2017, we went on a trip. Actually, let me back up. In April of 2017, my husband and I went on a cruise. And I was having symptoms, and I was sick then. I just didn't know it. And we set off on the trip. Took 4 days to get to Florida because we sailed out of Miami. And we did it for our 15th, or we did it for our 10th anniversary. Because for us, and in these day and age, 10 years is a great accomplishment for a married couple. I mean, marriages break up so quickly these days. And so 10 years was like such an accomplishment. It was my longest marriage, because this is my second one. So, it was my longest marriage so far. And now we're coming up on 15, so we're, you know, I think we're good. But yeah, we went on a cruise, had a great time. I had all kinds of symptoms, but the minute we stepped on that ship, it was gone. Like, I was not sick. I didn't have diarrhea. I didn't have nausea and vomiting. The stress, we attributed all the stress from home as what accentuated all of my symptoms. And it's kind of a blessing that I had all the stressful moments at home, because that's what led me to finding out that I had cancer. But we had a great time. Everything was great. Spent 6 days, got off, come home, sick again. Boom. Right after that, my family in New York was having, my dad's side of the family in New York was having a family reunion. And I haven't been to one in a long time, like over 20 years. So, I told my husband, I was like, I would really like to go. Can we go? And he's like, okay, let's go. So we went and bought us tickets, took our boys, our 2 youngest boys at the time, and we went to New York to visit and to do my family reunion. During that time, I had some sickness. It really got accentuated right at the very last, like the last day or two. I was really, really sick. And my brother, my brother kept saying, sis, I think I really ought to take you to the hospital. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the hospital here, Bill, because I don't want to get stuck. I didn't want to get stuck in New York because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I was going to need a surgery. I didn't know. I had no idea. So I was scared, and I didn't want to go to the hospital in New York because I was away from home. So we went and we got on the plane, and we got home, and some friends picked us up from the airport and brought us home. Within an hour of arriving home, 2 hours from the airport, within an hour of arriving home, I threw up. And then my husband was like, you're going to the hospital. I was like, yeah, I think I need to go. So I loaded up, and our friends took me to the hospital, and he followed behind shortly thereafter because I had my babysitting kids. My babysitting kids were there, so he had to wait for their mom to get home, to get home. Listen to me. He had to wait for their mom to get there to pick them up, then he was going to follow me to the hospital. Well, he showed up, and it was right before he showed up that the doctor who was in the ER, who is now my primary care physician, but the ER doctor at the time, she told me she wanted to get a abdominal and a chest x-ray and get some blood work. And I was like, okay. So we did all, she didn't do the x-rays yet, but she did do the blood work, and then she come back right before, I think right before my husband showed up. It was right before he showed up that she said, I think I need to do a CT scan with contrast instead of the x-ray. She says, I just feel like I'm going to know more with what's going on with the CT scan. So she did. So she ordered the CT scan, and I had it done, and I can't remember, because it's been 4 years. I don't remember if my husband was there when I went in for the CT scan, or if he came back, if he was there after I came back. But I know he was there when we got the results. So it wasn't too long, and then the doctor came in, told us that the blood work all looked great, that there was nothing wrong with my blood work. She wanted a stool sample, but I couldn't get one right that second. So I just didn't. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember, guys. I'm so sorry. But I'm trying to catch up on everything from 4 years ago to date. And the table's wobbly. And trying to remember everything. All the details I probably will not be able to go into because I don't remember them all. But if you have any questions and you want to ask them, ask them. If I can answer them, I will. If I can't, I'll try to remember, or I'll go back on some of my medical reports and try to get the answers for you. But, sorry, my voice is so crazy. It's, I don't know, all the yelling and all the chemo, and I don't sound the same anymore. I just don't. But, anyways, we're in July 31st, 2017. I'm at the ER, had blood work, it's perfect. Had the CT scan. She comes in and says, so you have a thickening of your colon. And she said, typically that means you have a tumor. And I was like, whoa. Looked at my husband, I was like, uh-oh, this is not a good news. And so we were both very scared, very worried. Very scared, very worried about this. Because his grandfather had just a few months previous gotten diagnosed with a lung cancer of sorts. We're not exactly sure. I don't think they actually come up with an official diagnosis for him because they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't even figure out a primary area where it came from. All they knew was it was a metastatic disease and it was in his lung. That's all they really knew. That's what we heard of anyway. So as far as we know, they never did find a primary cancer spot for the metastatic disease for my husband's grandfather. So that was pretty crazy. And then he passed away. So not long after probably about a year after I found out I had cancer. And then not long before, about a month before I found out I had cancer, my first cousin, found out that he had glioblastoma stage 4, which is a brain cancer. It's not good. Not good. That was not a good thing. It's so sad that I've lost so many family members to this stuff. And he passed away shortly thereafter. I mean, it was about a little over a year after he got diagnosed that he passed away. So, my oldest sister had stage 4 breast cancer diagnosed. I'm not sure what she was staging at the very beginning. I think she was stage 2. I think she was stage 2 at first when she first found out. And then she lived a little over 5 years because she was diagnosed in November 2006. Yes, because my mom passed away in January 2006, And then my sister found out she had breast cancer maybe before my mom passed away. I'm not sure. But she lived 5 or 6 years. I'm not 100% sure on that. But 5 or 6 years with breast cancer. So, yeah. So she recommended that I had a colonoscopy done. I was getting my colonoscopy done. Oh crap, it's not recording anymore. Oh yes it is. Okay. So she wanted me to go get a colonoscopy done. She was trying to get me a referral to a doctor on the Front Range. I'm not sure. I think she was talking Fort Collins or Loveland or somebody like that. But couldn't get me in there because they were not accepting anybody but Weld County Medicaid patients at the time. And I have Colorado Medicaid. So I live in the state of Colorado, just so you all know. And I'm on Colorado Medicaid. So, you know, they were not accepting anybody new from any other county other than Weld County. And I live very far from Weld County. So that was a no-go. So we had to find a doctor near us. Well, she was having a hard time finding one that would accept new patients. So I turned to my mother-in-law and I said, listen, this is the deal. We can't find anybody, and I've got to get this taken care of. I had a CD with my CT scan, and so she had me give that to her, whatever information I had, and she said, let me take this to my doctor and see what I can do for you. So she went to her doctor, told them everything that was going on so far, and told them she had the CT scan, and they told her that they were not accepting new patients at this time. However, they could go to this doctor and talk to them and see what they could do. Well, after all these phone calls and crying and begging and trying to get all these doctors to please take me in, to please get this done because I'm dying, people. I could feel it. I could feel my body dying. Really. It did. I could feel it. And probably within a few months, I probably would have been dead had we not gone on top of this and really got it going. So, she got a hold of that doctor and she told me that they need me to call them, because this was kind of a time crunch type of thing. We're talking everything happened within a week. We're talking that fast. So it was like slow. And so I wanted to, I don't know. I don't even know how I kept up on everything and not went to sleep, honestly, because it was so stressful. And I was trying to do everything on my own with the help of others on the phone. And so I get the phone call. I call this doctor and they say, yeah, you need to be seen. We need to get you in. So how about if you come in Wednesday? I was like, okay. Sounds good to me. And then from there it was, okay, we need you in for this we need you in for this prep thing. We need you in for this. We need you in for this. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday I had the colonoscopy. After that was done, I was sleeping in the car. My husband went into the gas station to get a drink. And he come back out. And by then, that doctor had called and said, he left a voicemail because I was sleeping, so I missed the call. But he left a voicemail and said, hey, I got in touch with my surgeon friend, because his name is Rob, and he wants to see you on Tuesday, or on Monday. And I was like, okay, surgeon, oh, wow. So my husband gets back in the car and I'm like, we just got a call from the doctor, and he said that he's got a surgeon friend there in Sterling that wants to see me on Tuesday or Monday. I can't remember if it was a Monday or Tuesday. It was a Tuesday, because I went to the hospital. I got admitted to the hospital that day. That day I went for my surgery consult. I got admitted to the hospital, and then from there and then the next day I had my surgery, and then from there it was on. So, yep. I did that. I had my surgery, colon resection, complete open surgery. I think it was in a 12-inch scar, 14-inch scar. I don't remember how big my scar is. I can't remember how big it is, but they removed 16 inches, I think, of my large, small intestine. I can't remember. It was the upper intestine. It was up in the upper area. It was of the ascending colon, so it's what comes down and over. And so, yeah. So I had that done, and then I recovered. They wanted me to recover before I started chemo because they said we had to wait for the pathology. We had to wait for the pathology to come back to tell us everything. They'd tell us about it, about the tumor, the staging, the type of cancer, everything. And it came back adenocarcinoma stage 3C. That's what it came back. And so here I was, 42, just found out I had cancer, and it's almost stage 4. It was almost stage 4 already. And so they got the tumor removed. I recovered for a few weeks. I had my first port placement in here for my first chemo round, and that started October 18th, 2017, and did 6 months there. Got that over with, and then 6 months later, had a PET scan to find out that the cancer had spread to my inferior vena cava and the upper lobe of my right lung. So, chemos I have taken in the past, and currently taking. At first I was on leucovorin, Avastin, 5-FU Fluorosil, 5-Fluorosil, which is 5-FU, oxaliplatin, leucovorin, and then they had me on a bunch of pre-meds to keep me from getting sick, horribly sick. But I did infusion chemo then, and I did roughly 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours there at the cancer center. And then I had a pump that I brought home for 2 hours, or for 2 days. 2 hours, listen to me, 2 days. So I carried a chemo pump with me for 2 days. So I did 48 hours straight. Technically, I did 48 hours straight of chemo. Every 2 weeks. Every other week. I think it was, yeah. And then when the stage 4 happened, then I went back on the same drugs. I went on the 5-Fluorosil, the oxaliplatin, the leucovorin, all the pre-meds. Plus he added Avastin. Avastin is a drug, not a chemo. It's a drug to help the chemo work once the colon cancer turns stage 4. Avastin helps treat more than just colon cancer. However, colon cancer, it helps. It's supposed to help. It did help. It did help mine. At first, my vena cava tumor started shrinking. My lung tumor the activity was lowered. The metabolic activity, just in case y'all don't know, had been lowered. The tumor was going away, you know. And at some point I'll talk about my pneumothorax that I had back before, during my lung biopsy. It was not good. But, yeah, there's a lot to my story that I cannot sit and tell you in one spot. So if y'all want to join in, keep joining in. There's lots to my story, lots of things. And if there's anything you want to know, just comment below and ask me. I'm a pretty open book. So, you know, and I know a lot of my family that doesn't live near me, hasn't seen me in a very long time, so they don't know about my life. I've also been in a domestic violence situation. That's a very emotional story. I can and will be willing to talk about it if anybody wants to hear it, because I know people go through that kind of thing and they're scared and they're fearful and they don't know what to do. I was there. I had no idea what to do. I had a bad time. I've had a bad time with life, and, you know, I'm still here and I'm still kicking. And anybody with depression, if you got depression, man, you got this. You got this. You may not feel like it. You may not feel like it, but you got it. Trust me, you got it. You've got it all in you, and you've just got to believe in yourself. Just start believing in yourself. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to get off here for now because I'm getting kind of heart heavy. So that's the start of my journey. I'll go into more of it later when I'm not as touchy. Anyways, thank you guys for joining. If you like, comment, then that will throw my channel into the algorithm to help build it. If we can build my channel, that'll help me a little bit to help build everything go up to where I can be more successful and be able to share more content with you guys, because there's always going to be something going on. So just expect some videos, boom, 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 but that's just to catch you up on the here and now. So, thank you guys. Hit the like button and subscribe and share these videos if you want to. And if you know anybody who can, you know, benefit from anything I have to say, please show them. Please send them my way. I would love to help. I love to help people. So if anything I can say, anything I do can help someone else, that's what I'm here for. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.